Welcome back, Warriors. I am your Quartermaster yet again, and it is great to see y'all. Welcome to the 18th video of my Weapon Workshop series. In this tutorial series, I look at all the relevant statistics for all the weapons we're supplied with for this 2042 conflict. Mind you, some of the info on these weapon crates ain't exactly accurate, so that is why I'm here to test them out for you and get the most accurate info available. On top of gathering info, I also give you all my 3 suggested builds taking the field for dealing with all manner of combat situations. Today we'll be taking a look at our newest submachine gun, the AC9. The AC9 is based on the Berger and Tomet APC9, making it another Swiss weapon just like the MP9. Chambered in 9mm with a base magazine of 30 with one in the chamber, this weapon's base ammunition is the close quarters round, so that will be the basis for our comparisons. The weapon crate for the AC9 claims it has a blistering rate of fire of 1,080 rounds per minute. I wonder if it will be accurate for once. Well, holy shit, I'll be damned. The rate of fire test for these close quarters rounds came back at 1,069 rounds per minute, which I'd say is damn near accurate. Well, I'll be. Anywho, regarding ranges, this ammo deals 22 damage out to 19 meters. Next, from 20 meters to 39 meters, damage drops to 18. Lastly, from 40 meters and beyond, we reach our minimum damage of 15. Using our high rate of fire with these damage numbers, we end up with a TTK between 225 and 337 milliseconds. Since our headshot multiplier for SMGs is still not good, adding in a headshot, hell, even adding in 2 headshots does not change our TTK at all. The next ammo type we have access to is the standard issue rounds. These rounds fire slower, much slower I might add, right around 833 rounds per minute, have less ammo and higher recoil while giving us increased bullet velocity and damage range. For these rounds, we deal 22 damage from 0 to 29 meters. Next, our 18 damage range extends to 30 meters to 47 meters before reaching our minimum damage of 15 at 75 meters and beyond. Using these statistics, we end up with a TTK between 288 and 432 milliseconds. Again, adding in 1 or 2 headshots is not going to change this. The final ammo type we have available is the Subsonic rounds. These rounds have all their usual benefits and detriments. No visible tracers, reduced sound, slower reload speed, and a lower bullet velocity. However, these Subsonic rounds have some tricks up their sleeve. For starters, they fire just about as fast as the close quarter rounds at 1,040 rounds per minute, and they don't have a reduced ammo capacity either. Despite the crate saying these hold 20 rounds, we actually hold 30. So these rounds also have some interesting damage ranges as well. From 0 to 19 meters, we deal our max 22 damage. Next, from 20 to 74 meters, we have our 18 damage per shot before reaching 15 damage at 75 meters. That means these rounds have basically all the benefits of the standard issue rounds without the downsides. Using our stats, we end up with a TTK between 231 and 346 milliseconds, with headshots again playing no role. Now the final attachment that can affect our TTK is the suppressors. Using the suppressor won't affect your rate of fire at all, but it will affect your damage while also keeping you stealthy. From 0 to 19 meters, we deal 20 damage, meaning no change to our TTK there. Next, from 20 to 39 meters, damage drops to 16, changing our 6-shot kill into a 7-shot kill. And lastly, from 40 meters and beyond, damage drops to an abysmal 13, meaning that we need 8 whole shots to kill. Sweet Jesus, give me strength. Using these numbers and assuming we're using the base ammo, we end up with a TTK between 225 and 404 milliseconds. Landing a headshot at the 16 damage range is the only time it will make a difference, reducing the shots needed to kill by 1. When it comes to recoil, it's kinda all over the place. The plots honestly look like a bunch of buckshot being fired at the wall since the shots are so spread out. I did 20 rounds of each ammo type at 15 meters to get some relatable recoil plots. The overall magnitude isn't that much different overall, even though the standard issue rounds are noticeably higher. This go around, the barrel options don't do a ton to mitigate the recoil for this weapon. The Archon muzzle brake kinda tightens things up without increasing overall recoil, while the Champion does a good job of keeping the recoil lower. The Tactical Compensator is not advisable to use, and the WARHAWK Compensator is just a little bit better at reducing vertical recoil. The underbarrels help tighten up these recoil plots quite a bit. The LWG is alright, would probably be better on the move, which is why the Cobra looks as good as it does. The BCG looks somehow worse than the base, and the Stoner laser didn't cut recoil as much as I expected it to. The HIPFIRE is excellent, as expected seeing that this is an SMG after all. The Stoner again underperforms in this area, with the LS1 laser taking the top spot for HIPFIRE improvement overall. For the first time in a while, I actually have 3 builds for you today. The first build, the Ripper, is best for fighting at extremely close range against a few targets at once. We start off with the Fusion HOLO sight for a nice clean sight picture, as this weapon's irons are not that great. Next, we use the close quarters extended magazines for a 33% increase in ammo at the cost of some reload speed. Next, I use the LS1 laser for that great hipfire improvement, and lastly I end with the WARHAWK compensator for the most recoil mitigation that I can get. The Ripper is best for taking on a few enemies in close quarters, and I mean very close quarters. This weapon is typically a single kill and reload style of weapon, which is why those extra bullets are so needed for taking on more than one opponent at a time. The LS1 laser, as you saw, did a great job of tightening up your hipfire spread, so if you're right in the enemy, I wouldn't even bother aiming. Just spray from the hip and you'll down some of them for sure. My second build, the Skirmisher, is for medium range fights. It starts out with the UH1 optic for on-the-fly range intel while also providing a slightly greater zoom. Next, we use the standard issue extended magazines for a 50% increase in ammo at the cost of reload speed. Next, we use the Stoner laser for that slightly improved hipfire and recoil control. And we end with the Champion muzzle brake for the best combo of recoil tightening and lowering. The Skirmisher may be longer range than the Ripper, but it is by no means a long range weapon. The ranges may be theoretically okay, but the recoil is still a bit much when trying to stretch this out. The standard issue rounds will probably give you the most consistent fights with this weapon, as you won't really ever be reaching the minimum damage range with it. The UH1 was an odd choice for me, but if you can remember the ranges on these rounds, the rangefinder built into the sight will help you know how many shots your target's going to need to down. The Stoner, while being underwhelming with this weapon, still helps out in two areas, which is something this weapon could really need for versatility's sake. And the Champion muzzle brake has the cleanest combo of recoil mitigation without spreading the shots out too far. My final combo, the Phantom, is all about stealth. We again use the Fusion HOLO optic to start. We then use the Subsonic rounds for their impressive damage ranges and stealth capabilities while still having 30 rounds in the magazine and a high rate of fire. We next use the LWG grip for increased mobile accuracy, and we end with a 6KU suppressor for maximum stealth benefits. The Phantom is a great CQC stealth weapon. The high rate of fire and the increased damage ranges basically make it the best of the two previous builds with the added stealth benefits, something that the suppressor comes in handy with as well. The LWG grip was chosen because you should always be on the move with this, and you can't be real stealthy if you're shining a laser around everywhere. This build is definitely best for an indoors flank on an enemy battle line. And there you have it, folks, all the stats you need to know and the best builds to properly utilize your speedy, compact AC9 SMG. The Ripper is best for taking the fight to the enemy and overwhelming them with bullets. The Skirmisher is the best all-around build for this weapon, as it'll be the most consistent, but definitely not the fastest, build out there. And the Phantom is exactly what a stealth expert needs to flank the enemy and break their lines. One thing I must note before I go is that this SMG actually has great reload speed for once. I highly recommend you check it out if you're looking to be a CQC monster. I did my best to get these most accurate stats on my personal testing with this weapon. So with that, what do y'all think of the AC9? Is this new weapon a new favorite, or is it kind of a letdown like the rest of this new season? Let me know down below. And so if I did a good job today with this briefing, be sure to leave me a like and subscription to show the majors that you want more statistical briefings just like this one. And with that, I've been your Quartermaster, and until next time, I will see you later.